back to my video. I know I look so crazy. I'm in the middle of eating some crab legs. Oh, and I was like, I should record the story time for y'all, because why not, you know? I've been wanting to do it for a while now. So if you've seen the title, you know this is a story about how this girl said she wanted to bake. So if you don't know me, I had this ex. We gonna call him Jamie. So I met Jamie when I was a freshman in high school and he was a junior. So Jamie in my school, we were able to graduate early. So Jamie, he decides he's gonna graduate early as a junior. So poor old freshman me was so heartbroken. But I'm like, yeah, we gonna still stay together through college. Like, nobody's gonna break us up. And all the teachers is like, girl, no. And I'm like, yes. And I just, you know, was in such denial. I should have listened. So now, oh my gosh, I should put some gloves on. Stop lying to me. Like, this boy love me, I love him. I lie, you tell. Anyways, so I'm sitting here. I can't even see. I'm sorry. So I'm like, alright, Jamie go off to college. He left in like, because he was a freshman. He was like 7 hours away, like he all the way up there. So I'm like, oh, like you never talk to me no more. Like I was so in my feelings, because like at this point I'm a sophomore and I was in my bag. So he goes, oh, you know, I just been busy, da da da. But y'all know when y'all got that gut feeling that some shit happening? Cause like, I just had that gut feeling. I had a lot of red flags that I just ignored because, anyways. So he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna call you, babe, whatever, da da da. He never calls me, never texts. He be like on Facebook though and stuff like that, on Snap. So I'm like, okay, but you can't text me back. So we was always arguing all the time because of him. Like a simple hi, how are you doing? Because if you go on Facebook and you can go post on Snap, you could text me and say hi. He's like, oh, I never want to text you because we always argue. And I'm like, if you said hi to me instead of posting on, Facebook and Snap, we wouldn't be arguing. Damn. So hard with nails, y'all. But yeah, so we going back and forth. Anyways, long story short, because I'm trying to get to the good part where she said she want to fight. So he came back from some break. I don't know who told me. He left his phone unlocked. So of course I'm like, I should look or whatever. So I'm scrolling and I see this message from this girl. And this girl was like, oh, are you gonna come to my room so we could cuddle and watch movies and this and that? And he's like, yeah, I'm on my way, baby, da da da. So I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. So I'm bugging in the staircase because like he lived in like an apartment building. I'm bugging in the staircase. I'm going crazy. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, oh, I was about to say, what's wrong with you? Da, da, da. So his mother hear us. So like he's like, oh, let's go outside. So we go outside and the cops is on the corner. And I'm still screaming. I'm still screaming, fighting, hitting him. And the cops is like, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, we good, da da da. So I'm crying on his mama chest. I'm like, why would he do this to me? You know? So heartbroken. And she comforted me. But that's the first time I found out he was doing something. So now the other times I was like, are you cheating on me? Like, I was finding stuff out, and he's like, no. So fast forward, I break up with him. He's like, oldie man, and like there's this boy that I knew that like wanted me while I was with him, and like I went to go date him after. So he was of course mad tight, like, oh, that's how it is, da da da. So I'm like, yeah. So he's like, oh, now after he finds out that I'm dating this boy and like we're together, whatever, he goes, that's why I was effing these bees and I was getting if you know, you know. So I'm like, confirmed, like I already knew like what you was doing. Like he was so nasty, dirty boy. So now I'm like, okay, like bye. So he's still calling my phone. He's like, I'll give you $40, come over here. And I'm like, I look like a $40 girl to you? What's wrong with you? So he's like, stop playing, I'll beat you up, da da da, and I'll beat him up, da da da. So I'm like, no. Whatever, right? So this was over a year ago, like a year and a half ago at this point, right? So now this girl about her wanting to fight me coming. Shorty texts me. No, sorry. She didn't text me. Shorty do I call me. Now, I have classes early in the morning. I like to get things over with and done. It says 1:30 in the morning. I don't know if I'm gonna see if I can find a screenshot of when she texted me. I mean, when she called me. She called me, first of all, she called me with no caller ID. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I enter. She's like, is it Jaylen? I'm like, who is this? She's like, Janaya. I'm like, this is not Janaya, because mind you, one of my best friends' names is Janaya. I'm like, why would Janaya be calling off for no call ID? So she's like, I want to fight you. So I'm like, girl, who is this? She's like, I don't remember what she said, but she was like, oh, that's why I effed your man. I got your man, aha. So, baby, I said, fuck. So I'm like, oh man, you don't got my man. You could never have my man. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So you want to fight? So I start getting dressed. Mind you, it's 1:30 in the morning. I started getting dressed, and I'm texting my man. I'm like, bro, who is the Janaya? Like, I'm mad tight. So in the midst of me texting, something just told me, like, wait a minute, who are you talking about? Not to be like, oh, I have different men, but like, I ain't never heard of you before. Like, wait, who are you? So I'm like, girl, what man? Just to see what she was gonna say. This girl gonna say Jamie. I think that's the name I gave him. Jamie. I'm like, Jamie? I'm like, girl, that is not my man. She's like, oh, yes, that is. And I'm like, girl, I broke up with him a year and a half ago. What do you talk about? That's my man. So she's like, oh, while y'all was together, I had him in the bag, da da da. I'm like, girl, that's cool. Like, I gave him to you respectfully. So she's like, oh, I want to fight. I don't like you. So I'm like, miss, I don't even know you. Like, I'm 18. I'm grown. You're probably grown too, because he's like a year older than me. Why are you sitting here on my phone playing games? So she's like, I want to fight. So I'm like, girl, I don't want to fight you. Like, I don't even know you. Like, first of all, why would I fight over a boy that I do not want? Like, girl, you could have him. Like, what? Like, So she's like, oh, you're mad scary, da da da. And I'm like, miss, you're calling from a no caller ID, so who's really scary? Who's really pussy in this situation? So I'm like, girl, stop talking, stop talking, stop talking on the phone, leave me alone. She's like, I wanna fight, come out right now, da da da. So I'm like, huh? So I'm like, girl, are you done? Are you done? So she just chatting up. So now I'm like, breathe that mad hard. She got me to, I had to sit back down. I lay back down because I sat up because, you know, I started getting dressed, you know, because she was not talk about my man. So I hang up the phone on her and she doesn't call back. And I'm like, it's been a whole year and a half. Like, are you really that bored? Like, why are you still worried about me? Like, why are you sending people to, like, if you wanted to send her after we stopped talking, okay, understandable, but it's a whole year and a half. Like, do you miss me? Are you miserable? Excuse me. So after that, she never called again. Because like, I used to go to school in Brooklyn. I be in Brooklyn, don't nobody pop off, don't nobody send it. So I'm like, y'all are mad miserable. Like, what? Like, that's mad weird. But yeah, Jamie was a shit, and nigga's a weirdo. And I really don't feel like it took me so long to speak on the situation because I was like, I want to be the bigger person. But I'm like, fuck being a bigger person, bro. Like, you're a whole weirdo. Like, you keep doing weird shit, and I'm not for it. So like, yeah, that's the story. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Let's get this channel poppin'. I will see you guys on the next video.